So, early last month, Womble over at Run Along the Shelves reached out to me about a fantastic idea they had to celebrate some of our favorite books published by indie publishers at a time when we know that the big five in publishing are all out there boosting publicity for their various books because it's book awards season. And even though I haven't really made new videos in forever, work and life have been exhausting. I knew I wanted to get on this because you all know just how much I love talking about my favorite books, especially if they are indie published. Now, the goal is to have this video be a short one because your girl took a tumble at work, so my knee is pretty banged up and I am filming this before the pain meds wear out so I can at least be fairly coherent. So let's get started on the books, starting with the very first book on my list, which if you've spent any amount of time on my channel will not surprise you. The Butterfly Jungle by Dariye Osman. Now, I haven't made it a secret on my channel that Dariye Osman is one of my favorite writers ever. The lyricism and honesty, vulnerability and bombastic flair it brings to his stories have gripped me since I held my first ever copy of Fairy Tales for Lost Children and I fell in love. So it only stands to reason that his most recent book published earlier this year makes the list. Firstly, the cover. That cover. See, this book, from the cover alone, lets you know you're about to have a good time. And it does not disappoint. Each flip of the page brings us closer to Miguel, takes us beyond the glam of his life, the way we are introduced to it, to the softness, to the pain, to the trauma, to the mental illness, to the joy, to the celebration of it. It's queer, it's beautiful, it's queer, it's visionary, it's queer, it's brilliant. I haven't mentioned how queer it is because this book is so fucking queer, it brings a smile to my face. Now, I was having a conversation with one of my friends sometime last year and we just laughed at the way a lot of stories people tell like to position queer people as wanting to fit in with straight people, like we need them as friends and life is incomplete if we aren't the third wheel, tacked on and trying to get them to see us as people, especially in Nigeria. And then you have this book where practically everyone is queer. Everyone, from Miguel's parents to his boss to his therapist, everyone. And there's just so much satisfaction from that realization that yes, queer people create our own communities and we surround ourselves with others within our communities and have the best life because of that curated space and find healing and comfort in that. So yeah, brilliant work that is published by Team Angelica. Second on my list is a book that is a couple of years old. Thankfully, Womble didn't limit us, nor did they insist that the book we talk about all have to be published this year. As such, I'm going to be including She Called Me Woman, edited by Azena Mohammed, Chitra Nagarajan, and Rafiat Aliyu to the list. This is an anthology that is made up entirely of queer Nigerian women living in the country who speak on their experiences in the most raw, honest, and unfiltered of ways. And when I say unfiltered, I mean it, because some of these stories just have me wanting to meet these women to ask them why, or avoid them as much as I can, because there is some toxic shit going on in there, but it's honest and it speaks to our experiences. And this book, even though it's sometimes messy, captures that in a way that is true to us. A lot of queer stories that are pushed today are heavily focused and centered on queer people living in the global north, which isn't the experience of those of us in the global south. So an anthology like this one that is messy and honest and sapphic and beautiful is one I will always cherish and hold on to because it exists. It exists in all its glory and it's fucking brilliant. And the generation after us will have these stories, and no matter how society might want to be all like nobody thinks like you or is like you, it's not in our culture to be queer, yada yada bullshit. These stories bound in this book would be proof that they are lying, that we have always been here and we will always be here. And yeah, this was published by Cassava Republic. And finally, last but in no way the list, is a book by an author I adore. You know when you meet someone in person and you just connect with them because you both vibe to an excellent degree, because she loves your favorite word and it is her favorite word too. And yeah, my favorite word is fuck. I love saying it. Hell, I even have a readathon named the Fuckathon. I think it's the most brilliant of words and I chafe at society trying to tell me it's improper to say it, which is why The 7 Necessary Sins for Women and Girls by Mona El-Tahawy is one of my favorite books. This book is phenomenal. This book gives force to my rage. This book lets me wallow in it bathe in it, become it. I am living, breathing rage, because Mona reminds us all that the heteronormative patriarchal society we live in will not budge in the face of polite, sweet, accommodating people. Nope. We need to be as loud and vocal and goddamn improper as we can to force that shift. Why the fuck we will try to accommodate oppressive systems, especially because the system will keep trying everything it can, everything within its power, to silence us, to humble us, to mute us. So this book is a feminist declaration of no fucks given, and I love every minute of it. God, this book gives me the best of chills, the fucking best of chills. If you haven't read it yet, you need to grab it as soon as you can. It's wow. And I know anger is just one of the 7 necessary sins for women and girls, but see, anger is the first, because until we get pissed, until we feel that rage and buckle, the rest can't come. And Mona captures that brilliantly well in her book, which is published by Beacon Press, and for which I thank them sincerely for their service. So yeah, those are 3 indie press faves of mine that if you haven't read yet, you should totally add to your TBR. And before you wonder if it's coincidental that my list is very queer and very angry, no, it isn't a coincidence. Be queer, be angry, be incandescent.